What is Node.js? Node.js is an open source, cross platform JavaScript runtime environment that executes JavaScript code outside of a browser. Node.js was created by Ryan Dahl. Ryan Dahl is a software engineer and the original developer of the Node.js JavaScript runtime. How can you avoid callback hells? There are lots of ways to solve the issues of callback hells. First one is modularization. Break callbacks into independent functions. Use a control flow library like async. Use generators with promises. Use async or await. Note that it is only available in the latest version 7 release and not in the latest version. When are background or a worker process useful? Worker process are extremely useful if you had like to do data processing in the background like sending out emails or processing images. There are lots of options for this like RabbitMQ and Kafka. Why is Node.js single threaded? Node.js is a single threaded for async processing. By doing async processing on a single thread under typical web loads, more performance and scalability can be achieved and opposed to the typical thread based implementation. Name the types of API functions in Node.js. There are two types of functions in Node.js. Blocking functions. In a blocking operation, all other code is blocked from executing until an input output event that is being waited on occurs. Blocking functions execute synchronously. Non blocking functions. In a non blocking operation, multiple input output calls can be performed without the execution of the program being halted. Non blocking functions execute asynchronously. Explain Explain chaining in Node.js. Chaining is a mechanism whereby the output of one stream is connected to another stream, creating a chain of multiple stream operations. What are streams in Node.js? Explain the different types of streams present in Node.js. Streams are objects that allow the reading of data from the source and writing the data to the destination as a continuous process. There are four types of streams to facilitate the reading operation, to facilitate writing operation, to facilitate both read and write operations is a form of duplex stream that performs computations based on the available input. What is package JSON? The package.json file in Node.js is a heart of the entire application. It is basically the manifest file that contains the metadata of project where we define the properties of a package. Explain the purpose of the module exports. A module in a Node.js is used to encapsulate all the related codes into a single unit of code which can be interpreted by shifting all related functions into a single file. List down the major security implementations within Node.js. Major security implementations in Node.js are authentication and error handling. Explain the concept of UR module. The UR module splits up a web address into readable parts. What is middleware? Middleware comes in between your request and business logic. It is mainly used to capture logs and enable rate limit, routing, authentication, basically whatever that is not a part of business logic. There is a many third-party middleware also such as body parser, and you can write your own middleware for a specific use case. Explain libuv. Libuv is a multi-platform support library of Node.js which majority is used for asynchronous input output. It was primarily developed for Node.js. With time, it is popularly practiced with other systems like as LibWit, PyUV, Julia, etc. LibUV is basically an abstraction around LibEV IOCP, depending on the platform, providing users an API based on LibEV. A few of the important features of LibView are full-featured event loop backed file system events, asynchronous file and file system operations, asynchronous TCP and UDP sockets, child processors. List down the two arguments that async.q takes as an input. Below are the two arguments that async.q takes as an input, task function and concurrency value. Difference between spawn and fork methods in Node.js. In Node.js, the spawn is method is used to launch a new process with a provided set of commands. This method does not create a new V8 instance, and just one copy of the node module is active on the processor. When your child process returns a large amount of data to the node, you can invoke this method. Explain the purpose of Express.js package. Express.js is a framework built on top of the Node.js that facilitates the management of the flow of data between server and routes in a server side application. It is a lightweight and flexible framework that provides a wide range of features required for the web as well as mobile application development. Express.js is developed on the middleware module of Node.js called Connect. The Connect module further makes use of HTTP module to communicate with Node.js. Thus, if you are working with any of the Connect based middleware modules, then you can easily integrate with Express.js. Explain the usage of buffer class in Node.js. Buffer class in Node.js is used for storing the raw data in a similar manner of an array of integers, but it corresponds to a raw memory allocation that is located outside the V8 heap. It is global class that is easily accessible, can be accessed in an application without importing a buffer module. Buffer class is used to because pure JavaScript is not compatible with binary data. So when dealing with TCP streams or the file system, it is necessary to handle octet streams. How does Node.js handle the child threads? In general, Node.js is a single threaded process and does not expose the child threads or thread management methods, but you can still make use of child threads using spawn for some specific asynchronous input output tasks with executing in the background and don't usually execute any JS code or hinder with the main event loop in the application. If you still wanted to use the threading concept in your application, you have to include a module called child process explicitly. Explain stream in Node.js along with its various types. Streams in Node.js are a collection of data similar to arrays and strings. They are objects using which you can read data from a source or write data to a destination in a continuous manner. It might not be available at once and need to have a fit in the memory. These streams are especially useful for reading and processing a large set of data. In Node.js, there are four fundamental types of streams. Readable, used for reading large chunks of data from the source. Writable, used for writing large chunks of data to a destination. Duplex, used for both the functions read and write. Transform, it is duplex stream that is used for modifying the data. Describe the exit codes for Node.js. In Node.js, exit codes are a set of specific codes which are used for finishing a specific process. These processes can include the global objects as well. Below are some of the exit codes used in Node.js: uncaught fatal exception, unused fatal error, internal exception handler, runtime failure, internal JavaScript evaluation failure.